You know why Trudeau's offensive is failing? Because he's not getting the support that he was betting on. He was hoping that the US would condemn India. The US did issue statements. But what did they say? One of the statements came from the Pentagon. That's the American Defense Ministry, the Pentagon. A senior official spoke about India. He said the US is in active talks with India. Talks about what? America plans to make weapon systems in India. The two sides are working on an agreement, a deal to streamline their defense partnership, to make the supply of weapons easier and to bring the defense firms of both India and the US closer. So what kind of weapons can America make in India? The plan is yet to be finalized, but broadly, 4 areas hold promise: intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance, and weapons for ground-based conventional warfare. The Pentagon is looking at the big picture. China is a serious challenge, and the US needs India to counter it. Let me quote, in fact. Our belief is that getting the US-India relationship right is not just necessary, it is essential to achieving our strategy in the Indo-Pacific. There's a broad and deep commitment to making that happen. Let me repeat a part of it. The relationship is not just necessary, it is essential. That is the message from the Pentagon. The shift is clear. Its foundations were laid earlier this year when Prime Minister Modi visited the United States. A series of big-ticket defense deals were sealed, including the deal on fighter jet engines, and the drone agreement. There was a special emphasis on tech transfer, also on manufacturing weapons in India. And expect the momentum to carry into 2024 because Joe Biden could be visiting India again. He's been invited as a chief guest for India's Republic Day. Prime Minister Modi has extended the invite personally. They met earlier this month. Biden was in New Delhi for the G20, as you know. He met Prime Minister Modi at his official residence. This was just a day before the Leaders' Summit. The White House is yet to confirm whether Biden will attend. The plan is still being worked out. Reports say India is also talking with other Quad partners, Australia and Japan. Next year, India will host the Quad Summit. So if Australia and Japan agree, their leaders could join Biden in New Delhi. They too could attend India's Republic Day. So the trend is clear, a stronger partnership and new synergies. Let me give you an example. Last year on the 9th of December, Indian and Chinese troops clashed on the border. The confrontation happened in the Tawang sector. This is in Arunachal Pradesh. It is an Indian state, but China stakes claim on it. It says Arunachal Pradesh belongs to China. So on that day, December 9, Chinese troops showed up. They came with spiked clubs and tasers, clearly looking to attack. But India's reinforcements took them by surprise. India repelled the Chinese troops. Reports say the PLA was caught off guard. It was almost as if Indian soldiers knew that they were coming. So the Indian side was prepared. And the US had a role to play here. The US military had shared real-time intelligence. They'd been tracking the PLA's movements for weeks. The US saw the Chinese troops conducting drills or test exercises, as they called them. This was in preparation for the offensive. The PLA wanted to test Indian defenses. They were looking to gain a foothold by entering Indian territory. The US put together all of this intelligence. Positions of Chinese soldiers were identified, pictures were taken through satellites, and the US relayed all of this information to India. This was actionable intelligence. It helped India. In fact, here is how one official described it, and I'm quoting again. They were waiting, and that's because the US had given India everything to be fully prepared for this. It demonstrates a test case of the success of how the two militaries are now cooperating and sharing intelligence. So India and the US are collaborating on security. They're working together in real time. And this is a pivotal shift. China is obviously not happy about this. One report described Beijing as being, quote unquote, enraged when they heard that the US had given intel to India. So long story short, this is a mutually beneficial partnership. India is getting better weapons and intelligence. America is getting a strategic partner against China. This is not to say that the relationship does not have limitations. There is still the baggage of the past and some skepticism, which the likes of Justin Trudeau would like to exploit. Unfortunately for them, success is unlikely.